In the interest of full disclosure, I want to say that I am very supportive of family planning, but not family planning that includes the definition of abortion as part of family planning. You know, in the Lowy Amendment, of which I'm opposed to, I'm not questioning her integrity or intent in what she says in an explanation, but I think it's a very confusing amendment. And when we just heard the two Democratic members engaging in a colloquy with the chairwoman, the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Cuellar, and the gentleman from Rhode Island, Mr. Langevin, as they said that they were very much in favor of the Mexico City policy and wanted to make sure that no money would be spent. And I think the chair lady tried to explain that. But then just a second ago, the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Jackson, stood up to ask our ranking member if there was anything in the Lowy Amendment that spoke to the issue of funding. But I would say to the gentleman, Mr. Chairman, and my colleagues, funding versus commodity. If you tell me that you're going to give me $75, that's funding, I guess. If you're going to say, no, I'm not going to give you $75, I'm going to give you a tank of gas. It's the same value. And I think as the gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Smith, was explaining earlier with his poster, that you ultimately take money away from the countries that need it. And we don't want to do that. If you really want to make sure that we don't export, I will in just a second when I finish my thought, if you don't want to export abortion to another country, then we're going to have an amendment coming up momentarily, the Stupak Chris Smith amendment that strikes the language and restores the Mexico City policy. And I'll be glad to yield to my friend from Ohio.
I'd just like some clarification. You said this money is going to come from countries that need it, and it's going to go to other countries. Are you suggesting that those other countries do not need this kind of the contraceptives and the preventative care?
Well, reclaiming my time, I will quote USAID on this, Mr. Ryan. 20 countries that currently do not receive USAID family planning would not receive donations under this amendment because the countries in question that you're talking about have comparatively low need for family planning, and furthermore, they lack USAID presence necessary to monitor compliance with other statutory provisions. So I'm glad to yield to the gentleman from New Jersey.